I'm not sure if I can talk about these things publicly. These things happen to all sewists. And when you're in the club, sew club that is, you know. But if you're not in the club yet, you probably just won't get these things, not find them funny. So maybe it's best you come back another day. But for my sewing friends, let's have a little laugh and talk about the 10 things that you will start to notice when you learn to sew your own clothes. See how many you've experienced so far and which are yet to come. This is going to be a lot of fun. It occurred to me that there are so many things that happen in my life that, well, only probably you and our community here will understand. And that is, if you're part of the sewing world, you're in Sew Club, as I called it. When you're in the club, you know these things, right? It's kind of like tell me you're a sewist without telling me you're a sewist kind of situations. These are things that only you and I will be able to relate to. And a lot of them are quite a bit funny. So hopefully we can just have a little bit of a laugh. I'd love to hear how many you have experienced, because I think we can all relate to these things. And to point out which ones I missed from my list as well. So I think if you're just new to the sewing world, maybe 6 months or less, you probably find 5 of these maybe that you've experienced so far. But if you've been any more than that, I'm going to guess 8 or 9, honestly, of these, and then plus all the ones that I didn't list out that, remember, I want to hear those down in the comments down below. So I think we're across the board, everyone gets these things. So when you start sewing your own clothes, you begin to notice what bad sewing actually looks like. When you go to your wardrobe or into the shops, you no longer just look at it as this thing that's already made. You start to examine it closely and you realize what bad sewing looks like is actually everywhere, all over the clothes that you thought were really good quality. You start to notice that they were not. You can see the threads nesting in a little bunch there. You can see the loose threads. You can see the dart that's all puckery, the hem that has been sewn wavy. You start to notice all of this bad sewing. And of course, you point it out all of the time to anyone who doesn't even care. You will find yourself patting fabric. I hope that's not just me. Please tell me that you do this too. Okay, so we're all friends here, so I'll admit, I will honestly walk around and I could spend 20, 30 minutes trying to pick a project, and I will be going through my stash and I'll be picking up pieces of fabric and I will literally just find myself patting them like, ooh, oh, so nice, and visualizing what I think it could be, and I'm like pulling it out and like looking at it in front of the mirror, getting a pattern, looking at it, putting that one down, picking up another one, and like, ooh, oh yeah. And just generally patting fabric. Please tell me that that is you too and I'm not all alone. Leave little emoji, the crying laughing face down below for that one. And I know that you're there as well. It becomes really hard to justify spending money on clothes because you go into the shops and you find yourself saying, I could make that. But of course the reality is there is only so many hours in the day and you don't get to make all those things. But it gets really hard to spend a lot of money on something because, and I love this meme that you see on social media, you might have seen it, where it goes something along the lines of, why would I pay $37 for this dress when I could spend $25 on fabric, $15 on notions, $15 on fabric, spend 3 days making it? That's sewist math for you right there. Along the same lines is clothes shopping is no longer clothes shopping, because you find yourself going clothes shopping, but you're not really looking at trying to buy something. You're looking at what the construction techniques is, right? So you go into you might even take it into the change room and pull out the insides, turn it inside out, look at how it's constructed, look at the seams, look at the hems, look at the way it's done, where all the pattern pieces are, where all the shaping is, and you kind of deconstruct it in your mind to get ideas about what you could do. Different sewing techniques, different trims, different color combinations, trying it on for a fit so you can get the idea of what you want to make yourself, right? I know, shopping is no longer shopping. We're just shopping for inspiration for our own sewing. Bonus points if you're one of those people, like me, that will take photographs of the inside construction of things as well. Yeah, definitely leave me a camera emoji down below if you're one of those people too. Along with this, you actually really start to realize what fast fashion is. You see the quality, you see how much it costs, you see how much time it takes to make something, and then you see the price tag of something, say that $37 dress, and you just realize There is no way that that can be made for that amount of money and everyone in that process is being treated fairly. Yeah, it kind of blows the whole cheap thrill of buying something cheaply, fashion-wise. It's gone. You really understand what fast fashion is. And when you start sewing your own clothes, you realize that all dressmakers, any artist or creative, massively undervaluates what they create, how much that is worth. So much goes into their work, just like your work. You understand now how much goes into it. The planning, the sketching, the sewing, the unsewing, the ironing, the pressing. There are so many steps involved, and the skill that it takes to get there. It's so much time, years to get to the certain point, and that all artists and creatives are undervaluing what goes into their work massively. That's a big one that I realized. It took a few years to realize that one, but yeah, when you see a small business owner or a creative, an artist charging what they are, you're like, absolutely. It should be even more than that, is what I say now and tell people. You will find that people will ask you to sew stuff for them. And with that, you need to learn how to say no. I've made videos about that before if you need some help. The thing is, of course, you don't want to say no to everybody. And, for your loved ones, you're probably more than happy to sew for them. But as we just discussed, how much time, money, effort goes into making something that they're going to not be prepared to pay that. And hey, this is your time. This is your special craft and sewing time. You only get so many hours in the day. So you want to make your own things, not somebody else's things. You could teach them to sew instead. But you will have to get used to having a good backup saying no. You need that in your back pocket because you need to be prepared for it. It will happen. Lots. Okay. Fabric just takes over in more ways than just as a stash. Yes, you have fabric everywhere in your stash, but also fabric becomes a resource for everything. I wrap presents in it, I use it for cleaning cloths, I stuff pillows with it, use it for rags, even padding and packaging, use it as to pad stuff out when I'm packaging something up, sending it in the mail. Yeah, use it for everything because we end up with so many scraps. We don't want to just send it to waste. You use it somehow and you'll be amazed at how many different things that you can use your fabric scraps for. Your friends will get to know your fabric wrapped gifts, I'm sure. When you start sewing, you are going to find that there are pins, needles, and threads everywhere. It's going to be all over your house, all over the floor, everywhere. You weren't even sewing in that room, but you're going to find pins and threads there. One of my favorites is when people come into my sewing studio here and they're walking around and all of a sudden they're like, I just picked this up off the floor. Oh. And they have such a satisfied, oh my God, they just stopped an ensuing, total, accident, life-threatening situation. They're like, whew, I got that pin off the floor. Whew, oh, lucky. And then I'm like, okay, thank you. Thanks, great. Because I look around on the floor and there is at least 17 different other pins in my view. That's not even counting the ones that are all hidden everywhere. And of course, I'm barefoot. You can relate to that, right? Everything becomes a resource for sewing supplies. The thrift store is a big one. I mean, you can use old clothes and salvage them for their buttons, take them off, the zips, the hardware. Absolutely. Go into the haberdashery store. You've got fabric scraps. You've got bits of this, interfacing little bits off here, even donated people's old bed sheets. You're going to use those as toiles and mock-ups. Everything becomes opportunities for sewing supplies. And I mean, lead that back to where it takes up so much space and everything. But it's just, you find opportunities everywhere to reuse and salvage all your supplies. And your friends will know too, because I bet maybe you've done this. People will say, hey, my grandma has this box of patterns that she doesn't know what to do with. Here you go. Or, hey, I've got some old bed sheets that I know you said you were using them sometime. Would you like these? Of course, the answer is always yes, the stash. It's for the stash. I saved this one for the end because obviously it goes without saying that the fabric scissors are just for fabric. Everybody knows this. And we go to drastic lengths if need be, if they need to be labelled, marked. these are my fabric scissors. They are not to be touched. If they need to be hidden, we'll go to those lengths. If they need to physically be locked up, cable tied together so no one can use them, we will do it because fabric scissors are just for fabric. So, would you call yourself in the Sew Club? Which can you relate to, or which can you relate to the most? And I'd love to hear the ones that I missed. So definitely read all those comments down below. Until next time, my sewing friends, happy sewing. Bye.